Hey everybody, welcome to our Monday night call. Today I want to share with you some tips on how to handle objections, which is a very essential skill that everybody needs to learn when they are trying to grow a business. We have objections that you're going to hear about the products. There are objections you're going to hear about the business. Tonight I want to mainly focus on the objections that you are going to hear about the business, because that is the topic of the hour, right? We all want to know how to create business builders. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right here. Let's see if I can get this thing to. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Can you nod your head if you can see my screen? Do you see a flower? Okay. So handling objections is actually one of my favorite parts of this business. I think it might be because I like opinions. I have strong opinions, and I like to make people think, and I like to offer people perspective. I love to see light bulbs come on, and I love when somebody is like, I never really thought of it that way, That's my favorite. So handling objections, I just embrace when somebody gives me an objection, because one, at least they're talking to me about the business, right? Or about the products. But in this case, the business. At least they are being honest with me and talking to me, and I welcome those objections, because I had lots of objections at first too that I had to work through and sort through, and I have just come to the conclusion that this is the best opportunity out there, and I fully believe that if people know what I know, they're going to make the same decision that I made. It's just my job to educate them. And I do that over time, and I do that very gently and lovingly through handling their objections. So, all right. I hope that thing is not in the way. I don't know if y'all can see that like I see that. But, all right. So, first of all, when it comes to finding workers to build this business with you, you don't really find workers. You create them, because people are not generally out looking for an opportunity, right? Especially leaders or people with influence. They're already very busy. They already have a lot going on. They probably are already successful at what they're doing. Maybe not, but for the most part, they are not out looking for you, okay? They are going to have a long list of reasons why they can't do this, or they don't want to do this, or whatever. But you can talk to people when you share about the opportunity with them. You can offer them some perspective and help them see that there is a better way, right? So you don't have to necessarily go and find workers. A lot of people think that, oh, I'm going to talk to somebody about the business, and if they say no and they're not interested, next, move on to the next person. But that is generally not how it works. It doesn't work that way with the products, first of all, right? Everybody knows that you have to follow up an average of 8 to 12 times about the products and educate them over time and handle their objections before someone will make a decision to actually try the products. So I'm not sure why people would assume that the business opportunity is different than that, but you do have to follow up when it comes to the business. So here's the process of how you create a worker, how you create a business builder. You share the opportunity with people boldly, right? And with confidence. They've already thought about it. People are not hiding under a rock, right? They know that Plexus does come with an opportunity. So if they have not brought it up to you first, then there's some kind of limiting belief holding them back. They think they can't do it for whatever reason, or they don't want to do it for whatever reason, okay? So I promise you that they have already thought about the opportunity, but for some reason, something's holding them back, and you need to dig a little and figure out what that is. So always share the opportunity with people. I had this discussion recently. Do I lead with the products, or do I lead with the business? Because you're going to hear both. And I think that The products are what makes Plexus such a great opportunity. And I think the products are definitely easier to bring up the conversation. Everybody needs these products, regardless of whether they need an opportunity or not. They all need the product. So I think the products are definitely a great way to bring this conversation up. However, I always mention the business. Always ask them. And I've not had a single person on my team that works the business that automatically said, oh yeah, that sounds good. I think I'll do that. I think I'll work the business. Yeah, sounds good. Sign me up. Not a single one of them have said that. They have all had a list of objections. They all told me no. Some of them for a very long time. Anybody know Christina Williams? Yeah, y'all know Christina Williams. She's now a senior Ruby ambassador on my team. She loved the products. She was my customer for a year, and she had come off several blood pressure medications. Like, she loved the products. And then I followed up with her about the business for a year. Every single month I was following up with her. About half the time she ignored me. The other half, she just like wasn't really interested. She was too busy or whatever the case, okay? But I continued to follow up, and eventually her no turned into a yes, okay? So you do have to follow up. And I could tell you a story about or all the objections that the people who are currently working the business and are excited about the business and are excited about going to Diamond, they all told me no at first. So that's totally normal. Expect people to say no, but don't just give up on them just because they tell you, no, I'm not interested. You wouldn't do that about the products, and it's no different about the business. So you do have to follow up. So first of all, you share the opportunity, and then you're going to handle their objections, because I promise you they have a list of them. It's not going to be just one objection. Usually it's going to be multiple objections. They have all these reasons in their mind why it's just not going to work out. It's not for them, okay? And if they tell you no, they're not interested still, then you just follow up. And that's a topic for another call. So I'm not going to really go into follow-up tonight. Tonight, I really just want to focus on what to say when people give you these objections. And then you repeat. And I mean, you do this with a lot of people, okay? So you hear all the time that this business is a numbers game, because it truly is. And it doesn't just mean the number of people that you cold message, right? It means the number of people that you're willing to connect with and engage with and handle their objections and follow up, okay? So you need to be talking to a lot of people, right? You need to be hearing a lot of no's. So I want to go to, oh, there we go. Do's and don'ts. So do have strong posture. Confidence and tone matter, okay? The world steps aside for a lady or man who knows where he or she is going. So confidence is important. If you Christina Williams made a video about this the other day. It was so good. She was just talking about how, you know, if you were a 300-pound woman who says that she wanted to be a bikini model, right, that's about the same as me, who's a stay-at-home mom with no network and no skills, saying that I want to be a diamond in a $1 million company, right? So it's kind of the same thing. At first, when you're starting out, there's going to be people who join you right away. And because you know that you are going, even though you look huge now, but you know where you're going, there's people that are going to catch that vision with you and follow your passion, and they're going to jump right in with you. There's going to be other people who make fun of you. They're going to be like, ha, 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 she thinks she's going to be a bikini model. And then there's other people who are going to watch your journey, and then along the journey, they're going to be inspired by your success and your progress, and they're going to jump in at varying points along the way, and then they might go at varying paces themselves, okay? So just know where you're going. If you don't have a huge success story yet, that's okay. You share other people's success stories. I do have a success story now, but I didn't always, and I was just as confident then as I am now, because I knew that at some point I would have a success story, right? If I kept doing the work and I kept being coachable and doing the things and trusting the process, I knew if I did, X, Y, and Z, that I was going to be successful. So, and you'll hear Kristen Abart and Lori Welch talk about this too, that when they were silver ambassadors, They may as well have been diamonds because they carried themselves that way. They knew where they were headed. So confidence and tone matter. If you're talking to people like this and you're always like, oh my gosh, you'd be so good at this, or you're just, I'm so excited for you, like, it kind of makes you sound a little desperate. And you don't want to come across that way. You want, confidence sounds more like cool, calm, and collected. So when I'm talking to people about the business, I am excited and passionate. I really am excited for them and what this is going to do for them. And so I share that with them, but I talk to them exactly like I'm talking to you right now, just confidently, and with a strong tone, but not necessarily like a high-pitched tone that makes me come across as like a little overly excited. You know, you don't want them to be like, what's she so excited for, you know? So be confident, but you're just I think Natalie Dolan mentioned this the other day on our Ruby Retreat recap, but she was talking about how Vanessa Van Edwards said you should use the lower tone of your natural voice. And that's generally what confident people do. That's how they talk. All right, so do know that anybody can do this. Anybody who's coachable and has a work ethic really can do this. We have jewels in this company from every single background, every single gender, every single, every background that you can think of. There are jewels from every walk of life, every race. It just doesn't matter. Anybody really can do this. So for every excuse that you hear from somebody thinking that they can't do it, there's a jewel out there that could have made that excuse and didn't. Okay, anybody really can do this. It does not matter what you look like or whatever. It matters where you're going. That's what matters. Do believe that this is a better way. I think that when we are looking at somebody who's already very successful, it's so easy to think, well, they don't need this opportunity. But you don't see that they are working and pouring their blood, sweat, and tears into something, and there's an income cap. Doesn't matter how hard they work, they're never going to make more than X amount of money, or how many hours a week they're working. If they do want to make more money, they have to work more hours, or they work so many hours that they never see their family, or that stay-at-home mom who has left a career and is really just longing for something to fulfill her as a woman, and not just a wife and a spouse. I mean, a wife and a mother, right? Because God created us to be women first, right? We are women, and we do have needs and talents and gifts and abilities that we can pour into people and accomplish things and do great, big, huge things, and bring our families along with us. And so just know that what you're doing is a better way. It's not the only way to produce wealth, but I really do 100% believe that it is a better way. So when you're having genuine conversations with people, then you can really figure out what their pain points are. If you talk to somebody long enough, you can figure out what is it that they want that they don't already have, and then you can show them how Plexus would meet that need for them, okay? All right, do use feel, felt, found. So I understand how you feel. I felt the same way, but what I found was ... So this is way better than going into convincing mode, which is right here. Don't do that. But this validates them. Like you're saying, I understand how you feel. Like you have a valid opinion there. I felt the same way. Like you're identifying with them and relating to them. And then you can offer the solution or what you learned or what you found along the way. And also do ask more questions. Sometimes it's appropriate to use feel, felt, found. Other times it's appropriate to just ask a clarifying question. Like, really, why do you think that? And I'll give you some examples of that as we go along. So don't go into convincing mode. You should never, ever feel like you're being pushy. If you feel like you are trying to convince somebody, you have gone too far. Okay, this is really just a conversation. And also rapport is everything. If you don't have rapport with people, then they're not going to care about your opinion, period. So it's really important for you to have integrity, for you to build trust and rapport with people. before you go into trying to handle their objections or whatever. And like I said, tone is important too, because there's a difference between trying to convince somebody and then just offering them a different school of thought or a different perspective. And tone will determine a lot of that. And then don't give up on people. So like I said, if you know that you have to follow up with people 8 to 12 times about the products, then don't think that opportunity is any different. Okay, you are going to have to follow up with people. Don't give up on them. Just look at them and see what could be. Like if they were a jewel, if they were to go all in with this opportunity, what somebody's drawing on the screen, what would their life look like? What would their life look like if they had financial freedom or time freedom? Don't look at them where they are at now. Try to see and envision what could be, okay? And then if you know that the opportunity could change their life, then why would you give up on them? It's just like with the products. If you knew your friend was suffering with some kind of autoimmune problem or some kind of severe headache all the time, that you know that the products could help them with, wouldn't you continue to follow up with them about it? And just know in the back of your mind, okay, at some point they're going to thank me. It's the same exact way with the opportunity. You just don't give up on people. You plant seeds, you handle objections, you follow up, okay? All right, so here's the first one. I'm not a salesperson. Anybody ever heard this one before? Right? Everybody. I mean, I said that because I'm really not a salesperson. And so I tell people that, you know what? I totally get you, because I am not a good salesperson either. As a matter of fact, I did another thing in sales before and I lost money because I just wasn't good at it. I felt guilty for trying to get people to buy something they didn't need, and it was hard for me because I just wasn't really a good salesperson. But what makes Plexus different is that I know that everybody needs gut health. Almost every single health issue that we deal with as Americans can be traced back to the same two root issues, and that's blood sugar balances and poor gut health. And if I know that my friends are suffering and I have a simple solution to offer them that's going to help them and instead of harm them, then I'm going to be offering that to them, right? And I feel like I have an obligation to tell people this when I know I have something that can help them. If they're on all these pharmaceutical medicines that are causing more harm than good, and I have an answer where they don't have to be dependent on these pharmaceutical meds, then why would I not tell them? Why would I be so worried about what people think of me that I can't even share with them something that could help them, okay? So it's not about being a salesperson. It's about sharing with people what these products can do for them. And when you're marketing a product, it's not necessarily about selling something, right? It's about figuring out what a person's needs are and then showing them how you can meet that need, how what you have can meet that need. And that's with any product. It's not just with Plexus. It's about, any consumer product. You meet people's needs, meet the consumer's needs. So focus on the other person's needs and show them how Plexus can help them meet that need. So you don't have to be a good salesperson. You just have to be willing to share. You just have to be willing to tell people how you have a solution to their problem. All right, another one. I don't have time. Me either. I totally get you. I completely understand that. I'm a busy homeschooling mom of 5. I teach Sunday school. I was leading the choir. We had archery. We had homeschool groups. We had food co-ops. We are extremely busy. But what I found was that I'm already on Facebook every day. I already talk to people every day. And so I decided that I was going to make my phone something profitable for my family instead of me wasting time on my phone. Or that's one way to handle it. Or you could say you can make a significant amount of money in a little bit of time. The key is just being consistent. Or you can just ask a clarifying question here. You could say, how much time do you think you need? because a lot of people are thinking they just have to work this gig full-time hours to make a whole lot of money. And while and there are times in your business where you will have to work really hard if you're trying to get to a huge rank up, right, the next level, but it doesn't start out that way. And so just ask a question, ask people like, how much time do you think you need? Because it's probably not as much as you think. And really the key is just being consistent. Also, I like to tell people, great, I'm so glad that you're busy. I love working with busy people. Those are my favorite people to work with because busy people get things done. We know how to be productive and we know how to make things happen. So that's exactly why I think you'd be great at it. Because if you're not busy with Plexus, you're going to be busy with something. Why not be busy with something that's going to change your family's financial future? Okay? So those are different ways that I handle that objection. All right, I don't know enough people. Me either, guys. I live in Ludowici. Nobody's ever heard of Ludowici. It's a teeny tiny little one red light town in the middle of nowhere. Less people live in this town than went to my high school. And I mean, I'm not even from here. So I don't know anybody here except like my immediate family. So what I say is all of that, like I didn't know a lot of people either. But Facebook and Instagram, social media giants have literally changed the way business is done and the way money is made. You don't have to know a lot of people. You just need to know a few. And then also I'm going to teach you how to brand yourself on social media and make new friends on using social media and attract people to what you have going on. So you don't have to know a ton of people. Also here, you could share about the power of 3. You can just ask them, do you know 3 people? As I've been sharing with you about these products and all the things that these products can help with, did you have 2 or 3 people that came to mind? And then you can show them about the power of 3. So that's several different ways you can handle that objection. You don't really have to know a lot of people. And I just actually, before I started this call, I went in my back office because I wanted to see just what percentage of people that have joined me after I started Plexus, and I met them on Facebook. And it was the majority. Like it was most of them, like half or more of the people that have joined me along the way are people that I did not know prior to Plexus that I have met through social media. Or maybe I met them one time in person, like at Walmart or something, and I added them on Facebook, and otherwise, if it wasn't for social media, I never would have seen or spoke to them again, right? So it's not about who you know, it's also about who you know knows, because everybody's going to lead you to somebody. Everybody could lead you to somebody. So just a few different ways. Okay, this one's my favorite. I don't like people. I mean, me either. Just kidding. I mean, I really do like people. But this cracks me up when people say I don't like people, because the people that have told me this are the biggest lovers of people on my team. They really do like people. What they really mean, like what you should hear when people say I don't like people, is I don't like stupid people. That's what they really mean. Because they do like people. They love people. And, you know, I just tell them, first of all, look at their Facebook, okay? So that's a good indicator. I will go and look at their Facebook, and I'm like, girl, you do love people. I see this and this and this and this, and people love you back. What are you talking about? You don't love people. You absolutely do. Also, I tell them, especially if they are a Christian, which I am, I'm just like, you're supposed to like people. You have to love people. Like, you don't have a choice. Like, you have to love even your enemies. Like, there's no getting around it, okay? This is going to force you to do the things you're supposed to be doing, and that is loving people, okay? So I just don't believe people when they say I don't like people. I just have never found somebody who says that actually doesn't like people, because they really do. They just think that they probably have been hurt, or maybe they're introverted, and I'll handle that in a minute too. All right. I don't want to bug my friends. Great, me either. And I don't like to work with people who like to bug their friends, because that would be kind of weird. So we don't bug our friends, okay? And I don't want anybody to bug their friends. What I do want them to do is know that they have products on their hands that can change someone's life. They have an opportunity on their hands that could change someone's life. And I just tell them, look, you have people in your life who are literally praying for relief from something, that you have something on your hands here that can help them. And if you don't tell them about it, somebody's going to tell them about it. Somebody's going to be signing up your sister, your mama, your best friend, your dog. They're all going to be trying Plexus at some point. So why would they not get it from you? You're not going to be bugging your friends. They're going to get their probiotics and vitamins from somewhere. Why would they not want to support their friends? Why would they rather support the CEO at GNC rather than Susie over here, who is, aspiring to be a stay-at-home mom, and pour into her babies or whatever? Why would they not want to support their friends? Okay. So that's kind of how I handle that one. I've done another MLM before and I wasn't good at it. I actually hear this a lot. And that's because network marketing is the fastest growing business model in the world, simply because it works. Word of mouth has always been the most effective way to market a product, and companies know that, and companies have choices, okay? So they can choose, do I want to invest my advertising dollars in celebrity endorsements and big expensive TV advertisements, or do I want to invest my advertising dollars in normal average people and compensate them for sharing a product that they love? So lots of people, you're going to see more and more people doing MLMs. And really, whenever somebody says this to me, which I have had lots of people say this, and I actually have people on my team that are working the business who have said this, several that I'm thinking of right now, I would just say, I did too. Actually, I did. I did another MLM before. I lost money because I wasn't good at it, but here's what I found. That network marketing, it's really just a set of skills that anybody can learn and get good at. Anytime you endeavor in something new, you're going to have to learn some new things, right? Even if you were just going to get a job at Burger King, you wouldn't just walk up in there and start ringing people up with no basic knowledge of how to run a cash register or what's on the menu. You have to learn some new skills, no matter what you endeavor. When you become a mother, you had to learn some things. Does it mean it's not worth it? No, it doesn't mean it's not worth it. Anything worthwhile, anything worth pursuing is worth your time and energy and your resources investment, okay? And so network marketing is no different. You have to learn some skills. It's not a lottery ticket where you just post on Facebook and everybody's going to come beating down your door wanting what you have. There are some skills you need to learn. But anybody can learn the skills and get good at it. And if you are willing to do that, then you can be super successful. And I can show you how. So that's how I handle that. And they do eventually come around. They do. Even if they have done other MLMs. As a matter of fact, I have 2 leaders on my team that were in other companies and they didn't do well with it either. And now they're very successful in Plexus. I don't like MLMs because, let me see how I'm doing on time here. Oh, I'm running out of time. Guys, I have like a whole nother list of objections. So I'm going to have to cut this off and like do a part 2, but I will handle a few more real quick. I don't like MLMs because only a few people make real money. And that is true. Only a few people make a huge amount of money, like financial freedom, few compared to the amount of people that actually join. And that's because only a few people are willing to do what successful people do, right? You guys know what successful people do. First of all, they work their heinies off, okay? Success does not just fall in somebody's lap. They work hard. They get up early, they stay up late, and they bust it day after day after day. They are going to invest themselves in the learning. Imagine if I was going to endeavor in being a brain surgeon. How many years would I have to go to school? How much debt would I have to incur before I could even make a dime, before I could even become profitable? And then how many years would I have to work at my said position before I could become profitable after paying off all those student loan debts and all of that stuff? Okay, so people, I mean, anybody, theoretically, anybody with a reasonable amount of intelligence could be a brain surgeon. Like, you really could do that if you wanted to, and you set your mind to it, and you were willing to do all of the things that brain surgeons have to go through to be successful. You could do that. You could potentially achieve that. Does it mean you're going to do it? Probably not. Okay, but, and to be a diamond in this company, do you have to be a brain surgeon? No. You pay $34.95. You open your mouth and you talk to people. You share some products and an opportunity that could change their life. You develop yourself as a leader, right? Those are the main three things you do. You invest, you open your mouth, and develop yourself. And anybody can do that. Anybody can be a diamond, but people give up too easily. People think, you know, that somebody tells them no, they get their feelings hurt and they want to quit. Or somebody has detox on the products and quits their products, and they're like, oh, I can't do this business. People are quitting on me. I mean, you just don't quit. If you want to be a diamond, you can be a diamond. You just don't quit. You do the work, you learn the skills, and you don't quit. So anybody can make real money in this business. And as a matter of fact, I made real money my first 2 weeks because I went silver and had a few customers, and I made more in that first 2 weeks than I had ever made at any little piddly job I had in my whole life. Okay, and that's not saying I didn't have like a career. I mean, I've always been a stay-at-home mom, but I have had a few jobs here and there. And I never made what I was making with Plexus as a silver ambassador. So I just thought, I'm doing pretty good as a stay-at-home mom. This is really not bad. And so it was definitely a blessing, even as a silver ambassador, what was happening in my family financially. So you can make very significant money. You just have to be willing to do the things and don't quit. Oh, this is my favorite one. I'll share after I see my own results, and I'm going to cut it off here. But so what you should hear when somebody says, I'll start sharing about Plexus after I see my own results. What you really need to hear or perceive from them is, I don't believe in the products yet. Like, I need to build my belief in the products. And they do. And so I just validate that. I'm like, yes, I totally agree. Like, you really do need to believe in what you're telling people about before you start telling people about it. However, you can build your belief in these products in lots of ways besides waiting on your own results. And the reason for that is because you're not going to have a story for everything Plexus can help your friends with. You might not have fibromyalgia, but your friends do. I mean, you have friends that do. You might not have migraines, but you have friends that do. You might not have eczema or digestive issues or skin problems or toe fungus or whatever the case may be. You might struggle with, a little bit of energy or whatever. You're not going to have a story for everything Plexus can help your friends with. If I was a real estate agent, would I have to live in every single house that I'm trying to sell to a family? No, because it's not about me. I'm focusing on what the other person's needs are. If I'm talking to a family, I would say, hey, family, what are your needs? What are you looking for in a home? Okay, well, this house could probably fit your needs. So I don't have to live in every single house to say, oh, I lived in this house, you're going to love it. No, that's not how it works. And that's not how it works with these products or this business opportunity either. If you're showing people what's in it for them and you are being others focused, then you know what people's needs are, you focus on their needs. It's not about you. So you don't have to have some phenomenal story to be super successful in this company, okay? So you focus on what the other person's needs are, you show them how what you have can meet their needs, and you can build your belief by Googling every single ingredient and learning what they do in the body. You can build your belief by reading the thousands of testimonials that we have at this point. And you can build your belief by watching diamond documentaries and things like that. We have one diamond, Susie McCall. She was a marathon runner, pretty healthy and fit, right? She didn't have a lot of health problems. You know what her testimony was? Plexus helped her quit her Diet Dr. Pepper addiction. Like, what do you do, right? Life-changing. Well, it was for Susie, but she wasn't like, oh, I had these thyroid problems and I came off 10 medicines. I mean, you don't have to have some phenomenal story in order to share with somebody what these products can do for them, because it's not about you. It's about other people. Okay, so I'm going to stop the share, and hopefully, I don't know how, did I stop the share? Oh, okay. All right, so hopefully this helped you guys. I'm going to have to post the rest. I'm going to make another video, and I'll post the part 2 to this, because I actually had like 10 more that I hear and that I deal with often, and I'll be happy to share with you guys. If you have any questions, just shoot me a message, and I'll call it a night. Good night, everybody.